are behind already 10 minutes. Last person will walk in, will sing for us. آخر واحد هيخش هيغني قدامنا كلنا. أو احتمال الدكتور يحيى هو اللي يغني بالنسبة له يعني آخر واحد. ادوكوا اوراق ولا لا؟ One received the papers were supposed to be handed out now. Yes, no? Did you receive it? Did you receive paper like this? We'll do it together. Workshop. Okay, in 30 seconds, please close the door, and the last person need to come, and I'm going to start. Well, actually, I could start right now. First, before I begin, make sure so you won't be confused. The way they staple the paper together, they meant to put the first 2 pages, they look like that, landscape. So please open it to landscape, and it's called, I call it strategy template. See this page? That's where I want you to start. Can you see it? Yes, okay. Later on, I'm going to refer to it because you're going to work with me and we'll come up with a strategy for you. And attachments, the beginning pages, this is bonus for you, how you position your business, travel, and tourism industry employees should be able to read it. 7 pages or so will help you how you deal with the media, news media. It could be TV, it could be print, it could be blog, because all of us nowadays need to be expert in getting positive words about Egypt. Egypt does not need branding. Egypt itself, well known around the world. People go to school, in elementary schools, they learn about Egypt, the pyramids, and all of that. What people need to hear from all of us is that Egypt is becoming stable and safe, secure, and that's what we want here. And that's our mission. And if you need help to walk you through the positioning, how we work with the media, contact me on my website, which I'll share with you later, okay? Now, yesterday, Dr. Yahya shared with us great experience. So I went and updated my presentation based on what he said. And actually, I decided to come up with something new. And I call it Yahyaization. And Yahyaization really is a success story, success example of an entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur decided to invest in his own business, not to work for somebody else, decided to do that. And the steps he took, the first one, believe in the business line he wants to be in. Not only that, which was a major decision he needed to come up with. Then he took calculated risk to make financial investment in the business he believed in. I believe one thing I saw was very clear. He was passionate and is still passionate about it. Passion is contagious. Passion is Hamas, it's contagious, معدي, but in a positive way. بطريقة إيجابية. You could have all the skills you need, all the training, all the schooling, and to go into business is a different game. Knowledge is crucial, education, wonderful, but passion makes a difference. So he has that. And also, he mentioned a couple of times focusing. He decided to focus, yes. Yes, we have an internal joke about the word focus. Dr. Yahya could share it with you later if you want. Ask him about that. So that's critical. Focusing or tarkiz, critical. Can you have 20 goals and achieve all of them? Or is it better to have fewer goals? Our suggestion you have maximum of 3 goals and focus on them and you will do them well. You have 20, you're not going to do any of them well. You will do it halfway. So that was critical. And staffing, he talked about selecting the best talent available. Because without staffing, you cannot accomplish any of the goals. You could write beautiful business plan and a strategy, nothing will be implemented. You cannot do it alone. So you have to have outstanding staff, you got to believe in your staff, you got to support them, encourage them, and right after it, one thing he did was training. You could get the best staff and educated, best schooling, but again, as I mentioned, with passion and training, they will do what you want them to do. They will follow the leader. They will follow you if you're passionate and have clear goal. And also one thing I add to that, which is you mentioned, is specialization. Nowadays, you cannot just be a mass marketer. You cannot be a hotelier and you sell to everybody. Possible, based on the season, but travel seller, you need to be specialized and certified, meaning some training to back you up. Then you become advocate for your customer, not for the supplier, for the customer, because they pay you, and you have markup, the customer pays you. Airlines don't, mostly don't, and they will not, like what happened in North America. They don't. We charge a fee. So anyway, we'll move from there. Specialization is critical. And after that, system and organization. He talked about system or standardization. You have to have a standardization of your operation. And always, actually, one thing I will add, and I could talk about it later, that's great to have a standardization organization. But also, I will suggest adding the Blue Man. Have you heard of the Blue Man? It's a big troops, performing troops in the United States. And the Blue Man means you got to have a backup. You got to have some, if you own the business, you have someone in your own family, groom them and get them ready to take over. Succession planning, we don't do a lot of that. I never know, if I own my own business, I want someone to take it over, and I need to groom that person. If it's not in the family, I need to find someone who's capable to do it and train them. It's a Blue Man, a second person to help you. And commitment, all of that will not happen unless you have passion and commitment. Commitment is critical. Without commitment, you cannot get there. Actually, I call it stick with it, stay the course. Imagine that you are, if you allow me, a postage stamp. You know what postage stamp is? The طابع البريد. Imagine that you are a postage stamp, stick to the envelope, or to it, to get there. That's what's commitment. So always when you forget, remember that, picture it in your head, be a postage stamp. Stick to it till you get to your goal, commitment. One thing I missed, and I realized it later, getting all of this in memory, what I heard yesterday, Dr. Yahya, I was paying attention, I think. But one thing I missed here was affiliation. Affiliation, which you described as partnership, was other people to help, but also he mentioned the critical word was preferred suppliers. As a travel seller, regardless whoever you are, you need to work with partners, strategic partners. Can you work with all of them? You can, but again, you're going to be a generalist, and you don't have total commitment to specific suppliers. What is better to select fewer suppliers and direct all your business to fewer suppliers versus directing all your business to all of them. You will have no impact. You cannot support the suppliers, so they cannot help you either. So that's critical. So that's what I call Yahyaization. Thank you. That's life example. All of us could learn from that, and Dr. Yahya shared with us his secret sauce, his secret. Thank you. Now I'm going to take a different view about that. My part is to help you in a workshop, so you're going to do a little bit of work, but first I will set the stage, warm everybody up, and we'll figure out how we're going to do it. Because before you leave, I want you to have 2 pages in your hand going to help you, not me, help you come up with a strategy. If you don't have a strategy and you complete, I call it a strategy circle. If you start from one and end to the last part of it, you will come up with your own strategy. Of course, each person will have a different strategy. I'm not going to test you or look at it, I'm not. That's going to help you, because after that, once we complete the strategy, we're going to have it and transfer it to, guess what, your business plan. Without business, we can get anywhere. And within the business plan, we're going to have marketing, marketing of tourism. And within the marketing of tourism, of what you heard for the last couple of days, and more to come, is digital marketing, all right? So that's what I'm going to try to do. Digital marketing strategy is tips success in tourism. Strategy as defined in Wikipedia. You know Wikipedia, you heard of it? It could be Google, you could search, and it will take you to Wikipedia, and that's what they say. Marketing strategy is a process that can allow an organization to concentrate its limited underline, resources on the greatest opportunities to increase sales and achieve a sustainable competitive advantage. That's what they say. I've been trained in American Express. I managed American Express travel and tourism eastern of the United States for about 20 years. And I started my business. But what they taught me was finance. American Express company is the largest financial company globally. American Express is not in the travel business. The travel business is not a core product or service. It is secondary, spin-off American Express because we have a lot of members globally and high-end spender. So, but anyway, the point is they taught me something called financial statement. And I graduated, I have a degree in arts and geography. Never understood finance or accounting, I never liked it. But I learned that you cannot manage business without financial success, without having financial reports, without profit and loss. But the point is, the only word I will change for Wikipedia, that I could do that because it's an open, I could go in and suggest, saying increase sales and achieve sustainable competitive advantage. Sales could be unprofitable sales. If you're going to sell products with low price, low markup, or you make a lot of markup and then you discount some of it, you're not going to make money. So I will, instead of sales, I will say profitable sales or revenue. Maybe it sounds better than just sales. And that's very critical definition for you to understand the difference. And to be successful in any business, whether you work for the tourism, what do you call it, Munazama, the tourist board, the Egyptian tourist board, or work for the government, or work, maybe not the government, but a private business, you always at the end of the year, your calendar financial year, you need to have more revenue than expenses. It sounds simple, it's not easy to do. And if every year perform 2% higher in revenues than expenses, so your return on revenue is above 20%, that's outstanding. And people want to have partnership with you, want to come and buy your business. That's simple to say, difficult to do. There are really 6 big strategy points, and I'm going later to talk about additional 6 points for successful alignment. Anyway, the first one is social media. Marketing and PR cannot control the message anymore, cannot do it anymore. It's not alone. That's why you need social media, in addition to whatever you do. Mobile, everyone talked about, Rosa talked about it, Dan talked about it, other people talked about mobile, I talked about it yesterday. That's critical. People are connected everywhere, and as everyone said, at any time, all the time. 2 more really big things to consider. Privacy. Big data gives really you the ability to know more about your customers or potential customers beyond belief, and will help you in segmentation. You need to figure out what's the right match of customers, potential travel buyers, and your products, whether you're hoteliers, cruise ship, whoever, our travel agency, car rental, that will help. Big data is the future. And engagement. Yes, a lot of people come in and shop. They just look and shift. Very, very quickly, you will see later the comment about timing and how much a visitor will spend to look at a website and nowadays at your iPhone or smartphone. People becoming impatient. They want it now. And actually, the point I mentioned earlier, most people will like and follow, but not actively engaged. They don't. And two more, you have new technology. You don't have to be the first in everything. Like the first man traveled around the world was a man. Guess what? It was a different category got created. And instead of being the second man, was the first woman travel around the world. So do you see how you deviate? You could open opportunity for yourself. You don't have to be the first in everything. You could, wait and be creative and clever. Open a new door. And return on investment. And a colleague of mine will follow later, going to really talk more in depth, and he's expert in that part. I personally find it very difficult to really justify and confirm that you really made money on your investments. It is difficult. I'm not saying impossible, so I'm going to be waiting to listen carefully later to learn how to do that. It's difficult to do it. And we're going to carry, or maybe not. Let's see what happened. Okay. Now I'm shifting. The strategy points for enrollment of success. First impression online is critical. Whether the website, if the website is crowded, and you saw an example earlier, that's not going to do it. And the same also, especially if you're trying to convert your website to work on mobile, to work on the smartphones. It's not going to show anything. So you really got to be careful with that. Less is more effective in advertising, whether online or whether print. If you have an ad in the paper and crowded, people are not going to read it. A lot of empty white space is more critical. And give only one message, not 10 messages. No one will do it. Actually, I saw earlier, and I need to give credit to the Tourist Board Egyptian organization. I follow and I'm very active in Twitter or Facebook and all of that. But daily, I signed up to follow. I get a daily Twitter from the Tourist Board. It's amazing. All it is like blogging and one line or two lines. You click on it, you have two more lines. That's all. That's all it takes. But it takes what? Commitment to do it. That's critical. If you don't have, is that right? Well, that's great. You should be congratulated. All it takes, commitment, but you have to do it every day. You cannot say, I'll skip it tomorrow. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. That's what Twitter, that's what social media is. And always remember to center it around the customer. And actually, I used to hear Marshall Field was a retailer in the United States. He came up with the slogan, customer is the king, customer is always right. I don't believe that. But I believe what Walt Disney said the customer is a customer, period. Because some customer could be crazy, nuts, a thief. It doesn't matter who that customer is. You got to treat them as a customer. So that's what it is. So customer is not always right, as Marshall Field used to say, but Walt Disney said it. Customer is a customer. Use data, which is a big data you have to segment. Simple online inquiry forms help return on investment. And I hope my colleague will talk about that, but that's what I know. If you want to do it right and track it, what will help you is your online form to gather information. Immediate inquiry response. You can't just have a website or you claim that you have chat and all of that, and you get information or questions and you don't answer it for a week. It doesn't work. TripAdvisor, Dan mentioned that. You got to respond. There's a beautiful tool we have in TripAdvisor. Give you even if someone came to you with a negative comment, I consider that a feedback. And the beautiful thing, I will pay money for it, so I'll be able to fix it. I will know what I need to fix. Reality, if I do something wrong, who will tell me? People don't say much when you do something wrong. But I will pay for a feedback, positive or negative. So I find out what I need to fix, and we'll give you an opportunity, like the general manager Dan mentioned, who responded, and there was an amazing opportunity. Think of that. And you could do it via telephone or via email or texting or chatting. Continuing response, you need to continue responding unless you're told stop. Because the customer was a complaint or said something good about you, You need to continue. It's just not going to be spamming. Spam is when a person doesn't want information for you, they will tell you, move me for the list, or they'll ignore you. But just don't just stop if you're a marketer. New role for video storytelling. In Canada specifically, TV and videos are in advertising, meaning on iPads or iPhones or smartphones. All of that's really happening, and we're way behind in the United States. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything new. Our greatest grandparents did it. When we're talking about coming up with a business plan or a strategy, they did it. They built a pyramid. How do you think they did? They had a plan for it. You cannot not do it without having a plan. Tell you how you're going to do it. I came up with my own thing, just to take this home and will help you to write your own. I'm comparing here a business plan of World War II. None of us were maybe there, I doubt it. But the point is, I don't want to take sides, but World War II is over, and here's their plan. And next to it, your own travel agency. You just get the idea and fill the blank. I will give you an opportunity. Business plans need the following, must have the following. Mission, all right? In this case, for World War II, was preserve the world for democracy. They want democracy around the world. That was their mission. For your travel agency, and I use an example here as an agency, it could be for a hotel, it could be for any business in the travel business, to be the dominant supplier by providing the most efficient travel service at the lowest cost to companies in competition or competing city. You need to be very specific when you do your mission. Words, and you will have to walk the talk, as they say. If you say it in words, you got to do it, it's a commitment. But if you're not clear here, you're not going to achieve what you want. Second part of it, objectives, steps you're going to take to do it. For the World War II, what they did, they said the goal was to end World War II. That's simple. For you, it could be increase sales volume from 6 million to 9 million. You got to be specific with real number. You can't just be generic. You cannot be subjective. You need to be objective. You got to put number. Number is critical. You have strategies, and that's what will help you later on to do. Here's it was to conquer Germany, defeat Germany. That was very clear. And in our business, say, hit East competition city, whatever that city is, with sales splits. All of us know what sales splits is. You team up with partners. If you are a travel agency, you team up with Expedia, you team up with an airline, Egypt Air, you team up with a tourist board, you team up with a car rental. All of you share the data and go in a sales call and knock on customers. As long as you don't bring in a team competing entity. So you don't go and ask Rosa from Expedia, and at the same time you go and invite Travelocity to come along. That's nonsense. It's not going to help anybody. You got to be smart about that. But you could get a different supplier. You could get a car rental, get Hertz, but you cannot get Hertz and Avis. That's conflicting. Then actions. What kind of action are you going to take? In World War II, they said they're going to overlord. That was a nickname for the code name, invasion at Normandy. And in your case, organize a sales team, take it to milestones. Milestones means a deadline. You got to have put some deadlines. I'm going to set the date, in that time, that date, first review, second review, and final review. And each review is going to help you if you are not on course, you are not on track, you need to readjust. So your strategy needs a little bit flexibility in the action plans to help you based on political condition, economical condition, revolution starts, all of that you got to be able to make a little bit of adjustment. And in this case, by February, if we're doing it today, by February 10th, 2013, training materials, they give you just an idea. Of course, you're going to do assignments. Yeah, you could have all of that stuff, and you don't have staff to help you. You cannot do it all. You got to assign to a specific person by name. And actually, when you go to the work you're going to do, you're going to have a section, whatever strategy you come up with, and where you want to go. And in between, you come up with goals, and goals have to have milestones. Milestones have to, and the assignment people, and you list the people, and hold them personally accountable, responsible for results. If you don't do that and upfront with your staff, you become subjective, and you're not going to achieve your goals. You know, actually, there's a saying, nice managers don't make good general manager. My advice to you, it might be true, I cannot generalize, but I normally, when I have a lot of people reporting to me, and managers reporting to me, I sit down with them. First thing I do, I assign to them goals. I explain my expectations. I tell them when I'm going to sit down with them to review and how they're going to be rated, ranked, and I'm going to impact two things if they don't perform. One, their base salary, they don't get merit increase if they don't, and also they are not going to get a bonus, financial bonus. Two things I could control. And I tell them about it up front to manage expectations. But when I sit with the manager, he or she, after 3 months, we review, and I see the person is not performing, I start by saying, and you could quote me on that, business gives us permission to have uncomfortable conversation. We are in business. So business, and we agreed that's what we're going to do, and I see that you are not achieving that, you're not performing. Explain to me why. Okay? And also tell me what kind of help you need. You need some training? Do you need support from me? What do you need? And it gives them another 3 months. If they don't perform again, then I'll move them into performance counseling, and maybe if they don't perform after another 3 months, they're out to replace it. But do I feel uncomfortable? No, because that's business. You could be a very nice friend to me outside of work, but during work, I am expecting you to do that. Otherwise, we're not going to achieve our goals. So that's important for you to know. Okay, in this situation, assignment was 1st Battalion to hit beach at 600 on June 6, 1944. But guess what? We still do it. 2012 and very soon 2013. By name, Charlie will start on Monday, February 13th, with code blah, 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 and you explain it, details. Here's one page, is in the presentation, you'll get it later. You don't really need this one now, but this will help you once you complete the strategy paper I gave you. Will help you to transfer some of that stuff here, but that's everything I said before, World War II, this is the same thing. This is the components you need. And you need, please, I will give you some time for this pages, 2 pages I gave you, here they are. I want you now to take, literally, and I'm going to time that, 10 minutes. I don't want you to come up with a lot of goals. Remember what I said before? Fewer goals so you could achieve them. At least come up with, I will ask you, one goal in the section of goal. But before that, you see section A. By the way, they're not following, jumping all over the place here for a reason. But I start from A, go to B, and B, you're not going to find it next to it. B is somewhere. You need to find it. I'm not going to tell you where. And you fill it out. And today's date, just one goal for your own business, for your own sake. Start doing it now. And actually, by the way, you have also page 2, which is a continuation, so you don't get confused. Whatever that is, actually, you could do it for your personal life if you want to do it. You know, this is page 2. Okay? 10 minutes. And then at the end, I'm going to ask, after 10 minutes, some of you to volunteer to just share with us how they completed it. 1 or 2 people will be fine. You don't have the courage, I will ask you to do. No wrong answer. We're here to work together to help you. And otherwise, I will start asking a couple of people myself. And that means, to be clear,